Hello there, the name is Gowet Alikplim and this is another episode of our C++ series. In this video we are going to learn about C++ loops, basically how we can deal with loops, iterate over codes and then make things faster for us. Without further ado, let's go into our compiler. Now before you can follow this video, you need to have any C++ compiler, whether dev C++, code blocks or Visual Studio Code. You are good to go. Now as always, #include, whoa, what's happening today? Stream using namespace std int main. Now as usual, I have to set good. Now this is the basic fundamental syntax that you need for any C++ program. Never forget that. So yes, today's we are going to be starting with the while loop. And there are different types of loops. There is the while loop, there is a for loop, there is a do while, and all those other ones. But then we are going to start with while loop, do while, and then fast forward to the for loop. Now the while loop. The while loop takes a syntax of while, then the condition, followed by the code block that you want to execute. So let's say while the condition, then code block to be executed, just like that. So it's always while, just like pseudocode where you write while the condition, then the code that you want to execute, just like that. So let's say I want a condition like, let's say I want to print integers from 1 to 10, right? So I can set int maybe num equals 0. Okay, let me start from 1. So yes, num equals 1, right? And then I say while I want it from 1 to 10, right? So while num is less or equal to 10, you should what? See out num, right? So this code, we have declared initialized num to be equal to 1, and then we are saying that while num over here is less or equal to 10, see out what? Num. Now remember, if it comes and it to come and check over here, what the value of num is 1, right? So it's 1 less than 10. Yes, it's true, 1 is less than 10. So over here, like as we learned in booleans, this over here is a boolean expression, is going to give us a true, and then if it is true, it's going to display what? 1 to us. And then to come and check the condition again, now remember num over here is still 1, so we have to use an increment, right? So you say num plus plus, or alternatively you can say num equals num plus 1. It's still correct. You can also say num plus equal to 1. It is still correct. So 1, 2, 3, any of these will work. You just have to choose one. Normally I prefer using num plus plus. Remember, you have to end your line. End your line like that. Save it, and then I have to end line right here. I don't want it all print on the same line. Yes, just like that. I'll compile and run, and let's see how it goes. So first, it will come and check the condition over here. If the condition is true, executes this code and increases the value of num by 1. Now num becomes 2. Comes check again. 2 is still less than 10. Then it goes in that order. Now there we have it. Right. We have 1 down to 10. So first it checks, is num less than 10, which is 1 over here. It's less than 10. Then to display it for us, increase it by 1. Then to come and check, is 2 less than 10? Yes, it will come and display it. Gives us 2. just in that order until the last value is not making this thing true. Let's say it's loops and then it gets to 10, right? So it's 10 equal to 10. Yes, 10 is equal to 10. Then it will display 10 for us. Then it will increase the number by 1, giving us 11. Now 11 is not less or equal to 10, making this false, breaking the loop. That's basically how it works. So let's say this is the basic format of any while loop. Now in a situation where you want an infinite loop, or I don't think you'd ever want an infinite loop, because infinite loops will cause your code to keep running forever. It won't stop until you close the application, and then it can cause your machine to crash and all the stuff. But then basically, in a situation where you do not, or you do want a loop, as in an infinite loop, let's say you are going to make your condition such a way that it's always going to be true, right? So let's say num is equal to 1 over here, and I say if num is let's say less than, yes, okay, greater than, let me use the number 0, yes, num is greater than 0, right? And then n plus plus over here, sorry, num plus plus. In this situation, 1 is greater than 0. It comes, displays 1 to us, then to increase number 1, we're giving us 2. 2 is still greater than 0, display 2 for us, and then what? It increases it by 1. Now, as you can see, this is going to keep increasing it, and the number is just going to increase. And all those numbers are always going to be greater than 0, giving us an infinite loop. Let's run the code and see how it's going to work out. Good. Now, as you can see, it keeps going. It's still going. So this will keep on going because it's an infinite loop, right? It's not ever going to stop, because there is, anytime that it loops, it's still the value over here, the condition over here, it's still what? True. Now if I can leave this to go until it uses all the memory location of the machine, and then maybe crashes the machine or restarts the machine. So it's not best to write your codes where you have an infinite loops. Right. Now fast forward, let's move forward to, that's that of the while loop. Let's move forward to the do while loop. And the do while loop is basically the same as the while loop, but this time around, instead of checking the condition first over here before it will come and execute this, it will execute it once before checking the condition, like this. Do, then followed by what? The code block to be executed, right? Before you come and say while, then your condition, like that. So it's always, it will make sure it will do it once before I come and check the condition. If the condition is true, then to come and do it again, and then check condition, do it, check condition, do it, and check condition. Let's put that to practice. So let's say, let me just bring this concept over here, right? So cout num save. So now we have do display what? The value of num, which is 1, and then check condition. What's going to be our condition? Our condition can be num 1. Let's say I want a condition that's going to be false. So 1 is, let's say, less than 0, right? Now this over here, 1 is not less than 0. So this is going to be a false condition. So in this situation, it will what? Do, then to execute this code before to come and check is 1 less than 0, right? Now let me comment this part so that it's not executed as well. Good. Now let me save and then compile and run and see how to go about. So basically that's just the main difference between the while loop and the do while loop. There's a problem over here. Cout num was okay, sorry, I commented num as well. Save. Good. So now as you can see, this over here is a loop, right? But then because it's a do while loop, it will execute the code once. Now towards we see 1 over here. After displaying 1 for us, then to come and check the loop over here or the condition over here. And when it checks it and then it is false, it will not continue, it will end it over there. But if it checks it and it is true, it will continue doing it until the condition becomes what? False. So the same way, let's say we want to print 1 to 10, we can just say that and then say num is while num is less or equal to 10, right? Equal to like that, and then we just have to increase the value of num, so num plus plus, just like that. Save it, run. There's a problem over here. Okay, I didn't end this line. Alright, so now as you can see, we have 1 to 10 over here, just like what we had over here, right? So it's basically the same thing, but this time around the do while loop will run the code once before checking the condition. Let's move forward to the for loop. Good. So let me just clear this off, so that's good. So let's say we have this and then we want a for loop. Now one thing about the for loop is that it has the syntax of for and an initializer, and then semicolon like that, and then followed by the condition, semicolon, and then the increment like that. Then you can have the block of code that you want to loop. Let's say code to be executed, just like that. So initializer, instead of we initializing this over here, right, we can just come and put the initializer inside there. So we can just copy the whole of this, cut it, and then just replace it with this. So now it means we have initialized what? Num as 1. Now you can write our condition over here. Let's say we want the same concept of 1 to 10, right? So condition is let's say while num is less or equal to 10. What do you want to do? The increment, the n plus plus that we do inside the code, we just have to add it over here, and then we are good to go. Then we just have to write our cout num and then our end line like that. So basically what this will do is that for it will start with this, right? For num is equal to 1, then to come and check the condition over here. Is this condition true? Yes. And to come and execute the code. After executing, it comes back and then checks the condition again, right? And then increases the value. Sorry, so it's supposed to be num plus plus, not n plus plus. So initialize is equal to 1, and then check the condition. Is the condition true? It will execute it and then increase it by 1. Check the condition, execute, increase by 1. Check condition, execute. That's basically. Let's run this and see how it goes. Now remember, this is just the same as how pseudocode for loop is written. It's basically the same idea, but this time around we are writing the actual code. As you can see, we have our 1 to 10 over here with the same concept. Right. That is basically it for the for loop. And then you can have a for loop in another for loop. Right. So that's where, let's say, for every single loop you want to loop another while in it. That's where you can put those ones over there. But in a situation where, let's say, you don't want to increase but you want to reduce it, right, it's going to be n minus minus. And then if you want to create a for loop, you want to create an infinite loop in a for loop, right, you are going to leave this empty, and then leave this as well empty, like that. So for nothing is equal to nothing, condition is nothing, and the increment is nothing. So based on no condition, no initialization, and then no increment, cout hello world, like that. Then you can end line. Let's try this and see. Good. As you can see, hello world keeps repeating because it's sick. There is no condition that is attached to this. It just keeps displaying it over and over and over and over again. And like I said, it's best you don't write your code such that you'll be experiencing infinite loops in them, as it might cause your system to crash. Okay, that's basically it for the for loops, the while loop, and then the do while loop. Thank you for watching the video. Once again, the name is Gilbert, and then see you next time for our next video.